Hello everyone, I'm Sophie and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And this is the book that I'll be sharing from, Snakes, Roosters and Pigs. This is by my guru, His Eminence the 25th Samtuku Rinpoche. I'll be sharing from page 46, part D, Preconceived and Wrong Projections. This is on the chapter of Living Our Lives Well with Intent and Purpose. And today I'll have a couple of interesting pictures to share with you. Here you go. This is a picture of Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche. On the picture on the right, you can see that he's dressed up, as Rinpoche has mentioned that he would role play, and usually, a high being would manifest conditions that he felt is required to help us. So, right, let's go to page 46, D, Preconceived and Wrong Projections. There would also have been many students who continued to fight back against Mokpo, even after being with him for many years. Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche's Rinpoche referred to him as Mokpo. So this is the person that's mentioned in Rinpoche's book. John Riley Perks, the personal attendant to Mokpo, was still fighting after 7 years of service to the Guru. He recounts all of this in his book, The Mahasiddha and the Idiot Servant. He was so angry when he was kicked out of Mokpo's house. He felt that he had slaved for the Lama, worked for the Lama, slept by the Lama, by his Lama's side day and night. Non-stop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Then he was kicked out of the Lama's house as if he was not appreciated and not loved, and other people took over his position. He felt he had given so much, and it was very unfair that the Lama was treating him this way. He hated the Lama. He thought the Lama was a monster and unfair. What he didn't realize at that time, was that the Lama had taken him in for 7 years, trained him up compassionately, put the Dharma in his mind, and set him free so he could become independent, transform, change, and prepare for his old age and his future lives. Smart people will realize how compassionate the Lama is to train the person up, and will understand why the Lama even supposedly kicked that person out, that he had actually trained that person up. Stupid people will say, "See, nobody thanked me. I was treated like that by the Lama. I did so much work and he kicked me out." Think about it. How can your Lama be very kind, compassionate, and loving 1 year and stop loving you in the next? How can that be unless all that he's doing for you is entirely for your training? After 7 years of serving the Lama, he was kicked out. He went on to work for Bill Cosby, the film star. It took him a few years to realize what the Lama was doing. Did he realize it instantly? Do you think he was happy when he was kicked out, or did he feel that he had just been used and abused? How would any human who has no wisdom have felt? Yes, they would probably have felt used. However, fortunately for him, he had merits and he did make a good connection to the Lama. Eventually, he realized, before it was too late, how kind the Lama had actually been to purify his karma before it was too late, and to make him independent. Now he is a great Dharma teacher, starting a whole new tradition and teaching Dharma in Nova Scotia, in a place that nobody ever thought of going to. Do read this book, The Mahasiddha and the Idiot Servant. It is so beautiful and so easy to read, and you can finish it in just a few days. If you let the Lama train you, the Lama will train you. If you fight back, you will keep fighting samsara, life after life after life. Why would a lama kick anyone out after they have served him for so long? Why? Why would a lama put himself under such duress? If a person had been serving the lama, he would know how to do everything right. So wouldn't the lama just keep that person around to continue serving him well? How stupid it would be to kick out someone who was so good at his job. That's what we would think anyway. Or perhaps it is all training. The stupid people who think that the lama is kicking them out for wrong reasons will keep on fighting themselves and fighting the people and the rest of the world around them. They will keep fighting, fighting non-stop. And they will get people to try to support them in their fight. In the end, they just end up out of breath. It becomes impossible. Lamas use unusual methods to train people up. If people have faith and confidence, they will keep quiet. They won't criticize and they will get the results. If they criticize and fight back, they will have to keep fighting. They may not keep fighting with the lama, but with everybody else they encounter. Actually, what the lama does is to teach them not to fight. We cannot see the benefits immediately. In many ways, sometimes even the student won't perceive or know what the lama is doing. When you have a fixed perception of how something should be, no other view can enter because you hold on to thinking and feeling that something must be this way. This person has to be this way or that way. When you have a perception and you hold on strongly to how things should be, you lose. Why? No other information can come true to you. For example, one silly person may tell you that they had a bad experience at the Malaysian airport and that therefore all of Malaysia is bad. You believe him and you also begin to think Malaysians are bad. I don't want to go to Malaysia. I hate Malaysians. Malaysians are bad, 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 bad. So when you go to Malaysia, you have bad experiences because you are already on an aggressive war path where you think they are bad. They are trying to get me. They are bad. They are bad. They are bad. When you keep thinking about this, you build it up in your mind and affirm it. Then every time you talk to any Malaysian, you react back badly towards them. Actually, your bad experiences arise only from your own wrong projections. This is what happens when we have a preconceived idea of something and we hold on to it tightly. In the case of your relationship with your lama, if you believe your lama should be this way, act this way, do things this way, or that the Dharma should be this way or that way, you are actually the one who is wrong, because there is no this way or that way. There is only intent that arises from many lifetimes of habituation and practice. The more you fight it, the more angry you get. Check yourself. How quickly you get angry is how much you've been fighting everything in your life. Do you get angry immediately? Flare up immediately? Anger doesn't mean talking or shouting. Anger is something that is inside, where your peace of mind is disturbed. All this arises from having preconceived ideas. Having and realizing this knowledge alone can break our personal samsara. And that's the end of the sharing and also the chapter on living our lives well with intent and purpose. And which is very true. that we usually live with preconceived and our projections. So we've grew up in certain conditions, and so we grew up with certain expectations, and we bring this, to place other, outside of our world, which usually, like, if we grow up, in with our family, with certain expectations and conditions that we live in, and then we go out, maybe, to the workplace, and then, it's a different set of conditions, and sometimes when we have that projection or that expectations, then we're going to suffer greatly, because probably, it's going to be something different, and if we can't accept it and move with it, then we will always be having anger or having suffering of the mind, that because we can't adjust to the new conditions. So as Rinpoche said, well, actually, Rinpoche always, not always, but he would often, tell me, let it go, let it go. I guess because I do hold strongly to expectations, I guess. And often he would say, let it go, move with it. He would say that. Now, looking back, I've learned a lot while serving Rinpoche directly. And yes, we need to be grateful for the time spent with our guru, where he has broken a lot of our expectations, and help us, how we should just move with the conditions of for the moment, that moment, and don't allow ourselves to suffer from anger and all sorts of negative habituation that we've had in the past. So if we could let go and learn and recondition ourselves, and rehabituate ourselves with good intentions, then it would serve us right, in the long run, and we'll be happier for that too. Well, thank you for sharing your time with me, and this is the end of this session, and I'll end this with a completion dedication. 将就生就人不是，马给巴南给是，给巴南巴梅巴扬，个内个都陪我说，多尼多人不是，马给巴南给是，给巴南巴梅巴扬，个内个都陪我说。Daso jenis apa ge wadi tantan trowa guna kempadan jepa jesu nosan trapai tampingin porin dosa se sho kewa kuntu yanda lamadan drami choki pala long choching sadam nangi yatera zone doje changi ngopanga tuso. Gewadi yududa lama sangirune drewa chika malupa de isala gopasho choki kaposong kapa chosunam papewala geki sama siwadan tunki malu sawasho dadam sangi dusundan drewa songi latene gewa losan trapai tampa yuriva gyushi ni modele sendele ni migunyandele shi ni sentato dele pel kuncho sungi jingilo kuncho sungi ngotoso kuncho sungi trasi sho Jesu lama kusen rapting ching nam katrini chocho ke pada losam tempe dro me sapsongi dro e mun satato ni gyushi gang ri rawe ko we shinkam dem pendan dewa malu gyo ene cheren se wan tense get soi chape shi de badu den gyushi home tompe ngatro malupa den de dala salduso kodan den pa long shot nap ke pa so shik shukten sal. Thank you again, and please do join me for my next session.